Welcome back to part 2 of the garage door install for the shop. This week was just insane. A couple days after I finished shooting the first part of this, we had a couple of tornadoes come through that were close enough to the city that I work for that we had a very busy week cleaning up a lot of storm damage, a lot of trees down. So thought throw a couple clips in of that just real quick in the intro here, and but then we'll get right back into the second part of installing the garage door. Hope you enjoy. Well, welcome back. It's been multiple days since you've seen me last. And in that time, I spent a day collecting materials. I had my brother come over for a day or an evening and help me try to design this better than my original thought, which was, for you a couple minutes ago, was to lean this back past the pulley mechanism so we could get the rails in. And then I thought I can do that, but it's gonna lean the top of this thing in about 3 to 4 feet, maybe even further when it got to the top. And where it wouldn't be a problem, it would just look funny. So the decision was made to get longer cables. So I ordered some cables for a 14-foot door, which essentially is what this is going to be, even though it's only got a 7-foot opening. It's going to be a 14-foot door. And then I went on Marketplace and I found a guy locally who was selling some more track. And that track has different bracketry on it, which assisted me in doing with what you can only see to here is now up there. And I can show you kind of what I did just to test it. I still got to build the other side, and so we'll do that here, but this was just kind of a test to see if we can make it work. Let me show you what we did. So this now goes all the way up there, and I mounted a 2x6 and a 2x4 to the uprights. They're self-tapered in. It's the best I can do. I don't know how else to do it. I mean, with these, I guess I could drill through the truss, but you know, the self-tappers are grabbing. That's what they built the entire building with. They're actually trying to pull themselves through the wood, so I think they're strong enough. I cut, if you come over here, this is the current bracket how, well, This is the bracket how I had it when you saw it last, kind of like this. And I just had a little short 3-piece right here. I was going to do this to be able to kick the bracket out with this longer piece of angle, and it mounted to here, blah, blah, blah. This is how it was. Well, over here, I've changed that. I've actually cut that bracket off. I kept just the piece that connects the 2 pieces of track, and the rest of it's up there. And my new piece of track has a piece already on it. And I'll bring this down so you can see it, but I kind of cut and flipped that piece, had to notch it to make it fit, but now it's up there and that will hold. Right now I just have one screw holding it up there just to test it. But I'm going to ratchet strap that up there so it's movable left or right. Whoa. So it's movable left and right, so when I get my spring and pulley bar up there, I can make sure, because it used to work with this door, that it's centered and straight, and these are up and down straight. So I need to get this one down so I can copy what I did up there on this side, and then put my 2x6 and 2x4s up. Those I'll just throw up really quick. It's very simple. I cut the 2x4 and 2x6 just the exact width of the truss and anchored them to it. Not a big deal, took the light down. So I'll do that to get that piece up so that I know what I'm working with up here. Believe it or not, it's been about 2 hours to get that behind me where the ladder is and up there done. This side I just had to add that up and down piece of 2x6. So yeah, that 2x6 had to go in there. There's an angle on this that moves away from the 2x4 or 2x6 as it goes up, and that will kind of complete the angle and support it all the way at the top. And this side here now is also done. And then I have a laser. You can see the laser line kind of puts me in the middle of that 2x6 off of my bolt holes. So it should be close to where I need to be. It gives me plenty of movement to move that 2x6, to move on that 2x6 for the upper part. Next, like I said, is building this piece here. So this piece here used to be this piece of track here. You can see I put a pencil line right there, so I'm going to hack it off. Same thing I did over on that side, I hacked it off. And I'll take this piece down and do some modifications to it, customize, fabricate, to make this be able to fit in upside down. This notch used to be up here. But I reversed it, that way I can get screws in easier and get screws in on both sides of this bracket here. So I can at least get 1, 2, 3 to hold the pulley mechanism on. So that's the plan, though, is to recreate this piece and on this other track to be able to mount them back up. So let me quickly fabricate this one. Now that I know what I'm doing with it, I can get through it. This took me probably an hour and a half to figure out how to make it before. Now that I know what I'm doing, it won't take that long. So give me a minute and I will make the duplicate of this piece. We now have almost perfectly identical, as close as I'm going to get them, mirror images of the same bracket. Within, they're within probably 1/8 of an inch. So darn close enough for what I'm going to need to do. So that is looking very good. Tomorrow morning, it has gotten pretty late. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. I'm going to go in and watch some of it before it's over. But tomorrow morning, come up bright and early and start installing the tracks up permanently. I do have to do a couple things down here To attach the track down here, I need to put like a self-tapper on this side to go run through the other track. It's going to go up here. I'm going to maybe possibly try to get 2 self-tappers in there, really low, small button heads, just to support the track. It'd probably be my best bet. Do the same thing on both sides. And then we'll pre-drill the end of this track so that it, well, yeah, because I don't think these line up. So I'll probably put a new hole like right here, and we'll see. I think this one's really close. If I had more of these, which this one might not be too chewed up, but I can't use it. Zoom in, focus. It's pretty chewed up, but if I got that in here and it pulled through, I could line that up with this hole right here and just drill it a little bit bigger. Maybe we'll do that. We'll see what we do. I don't know. We will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Well, as you saw, we were able to get the spring up and the rails are pretty much plumb. I gotta adjust that one a little bit, but I gotta move, this one's not always seated against the bearing, this pulley, so I gotta push it that way. No, wait, yeah, that way a little bit. And then I can readjust that one, but that's fine. There's only one screw up there, so I can adjust them. They're still strapped up there. The next thing that I have to do, I have to build another one of these systems, the wood 2x4 system, to go between these two to put that spring bracket on. I'm going to try to get that centered right here in the middle, and then I'll run a string from that side to that side to try to make it as level as possible. And so that is the next step. I'm going to build the same thing I built here. We're going to put it right there. We'll be getting ready to wind this episode down. I got this bolt in here holding the two tracks together. Doesn't stick out any further than this, so that's good. And up top here, we've got 4 lag bolts. 1, 2, and then 1 here, and there's 1 up higher through this hole right there. 4 of those. This spins nice and free, which is good. So that's good. The other side's done the same way. You just have to wind the spring and put our wires, our cables onto the pulleys. So that is the next main thing to do. And of course, put our other panel on. So that will be the next part. Let me get the cables hooked up and make sure they fit the right length. Real quick, 2 other things I need to address before we get this door actually working. I just hooked up the cable and it looks like it's long enough. It goes all the way down to the ground, it looks like, which is good. I need to put a bolt in here to make sure that the pulley or the door doesn't come off the track. So, but I'm also going to take through one of these holes, even if it's the same hole, and bring a piece of metal back to probably this post here, because this moves quite a bit. So if I can support this to not do that, I think it's going to be even better. So just a piece of metal from there to this 2x6, and it'll strengthen up the entire track. Cables are on the doors. Support pieces are put up at the top to keep that top piece from wobbling, which these things are now rock solid. They're great. The last 2 things we have to do, install the last panel, and then get the winding rods and actually wind the spring. So let me get the door panel in. I don't have any winding rods right now. I'm contemplating going to go buy some. I know a couple people have them, but I really want to get this done. I'm this close from getting it done. So we'll see. Let me get the last panel in. We'll see how late it is, and we'll decide whether I go get winding rods. Well, that's it. Next thing, I gotta pick up a couple screws because I don't think one on each of these is gonna be fantastic though. This door goes straight up now. It's really not gonna be putting much pull on there until I get the pull system, like the actual winch to pull it up. That will actually put pull on it, but the real pull happens from the bottom. So it's pushing through all those hinges. So I noticed that I got a huge header gap. So I'm gonna have to mount something up there to take up header gap for my weather stripping. So let's see what it looks like from the outside. Not half bad. The door is shifted that way a little bit, but again, the weather stripping should take care of that. Yeah, it's tight over here. Hopefully it'll move over. Actually, I have to get it off of here. It's too tight. I'm gonna have to modify the top roller hinge. Is too tight right there. So it's just gonna drag against the wood and I can't have that. Now if it shifts over a little bit, it'll be fine. There's a gap over here. I just don't think it will. So let me go figure out if I'm gonna go. Yeah, look at the gap, the nice gap there. I don't have that over there. So I'm gonna have to modify that roller just to push it back just a hair, try to keep the gap very similar to what this is. And my weather stripping will push it back, it'll help. So, but yeah, let me see if I'm gonna go get winding rods or not. Went to the store, picked up some winding rods and the rest of the bolts for the hinges. So those are all in. This now comes to the trickiest part of this entire job, which is winding the spring. And with these springs, it is 1 full rotation for 1 foot of door. But this spring is old, and I'm assuming it's gonna need a little bit more. So I'm probably gonna do, I think they recommend 7 1/4, just to give you some up. Like 7 would give you like a perfect hold. 7 1/4 lifts it a little bit. Again, the spring is old, so I'm probably gonna put in 8 just to make sure. Okay, so I'm looking at this bolt. These are 3/8 inch square head that hold them in tight, or hold them there. So I'm looking at it as a V. This part of the V is facing me, so that's gonna be my mark to know all the way around. Always get the next one in before you let go. So that's 1. This is not easy to do on this ladder. This should be 3 times, so that's 3 times around. Oh, this is my 3rd turn. So now we are. That's 4. That's half of the turns I need to put into it. So I'm turning it by the 1/4 now, just because it gets scary otherwise. Seven 3/4, and that's 8. Okay. Hopefully we're not too much. Forget about that and drop it on my head. These are supposed to go in, if I remember, like 1.5 turns. These screws have a point on them. It just digs right into the tubing. Okay, now let's see if I take it out, if it unscrews or not. Well, there's tension on the door springs, or door cables. Let's, hey, our vice grips are trying to unscrew. Oh, the door's, oh, you know what, Sam, the door's unlocked. Can you unlock the door? I want to see what this does. Well, it shouldn't shoot up. Just kind of hang on to it. Okay, kind of hang on to the door. Huh? Kind of hang on to the door. Okay, no, this gets stuck right, okay. Go down in the middle. No, it gets stuck right here. Okay, we're unstuck. Push the door up. Oh, I forgot about those.
Hey, your vice grips.
Yeah, hold on, let me feel it. It's not wound tight enough.
No?
I mean, it's probably good for when we had the winch on it, but it's coming down like hard. Okay, I'm gonna put another wind into it. Let's try this again. I'm thinking we have something, hopefully. Unlock it. Still not strong enough. Okay, help me lift it. I want to see if it goes up. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Okay, it'll go. It's just, there's not enough lift in the spring yet. And I don't know if that spring can do it.
You think?
It might not be able to.
The distance is trying to go?
Right, I think it needs to either be wound more, but again, I just might have to get a stronger spring. Okay, we're gonna call that an evening. I'm gonna see if I can figure out if I can put more winds into this garage door opener, or this garage door spring. I think 9's kind of a lot, but maybe I can do more. We're kind of close to being buoyant-ish. It doesn't want to go all the way down. I got to push it all the way down. I just might have to get a stronger spring, and I'll have to figure out what I need to do that, because I'm not 100% sure what I need to do for a stronger spring. I do know I have to take one of the sides off, which would suck. But we gotta do what we gotta do. Okay, we'll see you when I figure this out. Welcome back. It is Saturday. I got Sam in the background working on his Fiero, but we're hopefully gonna be able to get enough. We're hopefully gonna be able to hear enough on this mic that we can finish the install for the door. I did get my winch or hoist. I upped it a size from what the 440-pound one that I was planning to get. Harbor Freight had an 880-pound if you double the line using the pulley, and so it does 440 straight pull. So that minimum of straight pull works for me best. That's what we're going to use. If I have to double it, we've got way more than enough to lift this door. But we'll see. Hopefully this is going to be a simple mountain, and we're going to put it up above the door. I'll tell you what my plan kind of is. I'm hoping it's going to work. I don't see why it wouldn't. So yeah, let's go up there and show you what we're doing. My thought for this is to cut boards that'll sit inside these rails, because these are hollow rails inside here. So I'm going to cut boards that fit up in these rails, and I can fasten from the side. That'll give it some little more strength. And I'll then mount a 2x6. Hold on. I'll then mount a 2x6 across these two. That will be up here somewhere. And then I can attach boards from this up to that one on an angle and mount my hoist somewhere up here just above the curve of the door. So somewhere up in this area. That way when the cable comes down, it's still pulling down straight, and I'm gonna pull the door up to the height I need it to. First thing I do is rip down some 2x to fit up into these, and we'll fasten those in. And then we'll figure out how big of a 2x6 I need to get us out, you know, somewhere over here. I would like to come up like, I think I can be 6 inches above that curve. That would be great. That way it's not gonna put any undue stress pulling the door up or on the winch pulling the thing out. I can always later put a pulley out here if I had to pull the door the right direction. I think that's overkill. So we're gonna start with just doing it with a straight pull with the hoist and see if that works. So let me get these cut, these 2x4s cut and the 2x6 in, and then I'll bring you back in once I've decided if that's gonna work. We have made progress a little bit up here. So I have 2x4s inside this rail up to there on both sides. And then I just cut these 2x4s just resting here to give me the spacing that I want to get this 2x6 up there. And then I marked rough center of this 2x6. And I think I'm gonna put another piece of 2x6 behind it to double it up. And we're gonna anchor the hoist with the cable somewhere right about that middle mark. Then we can temporarily fasten it just to see if it'll pull. And again, we're not pulling that much weight. The door goes up. I can lift it with one arm. So it's not like we're pulling 1,000 pounds up on this thing. We're only pulling maybe 100, 150 pounds, which I think this should hold without a problem. So my plan to get this hoist up there is I doubled up this 2x6 just to give it more strength in the middle. And just drilled the holes all the way through it. I'm going to through bolt through the actual 2x6s into the motor. And because this is way thicker than they just plan you have using these metal brackets, I get longer bolts. But I'm going to still use the metal brackets as just washers for the back, just to give it some more, dissipate more of the weight. I really don't think it's going to be a problem, but that's what we're going to try. And let's see if we can get this thing mounted to the hoist. There we go. Hole is just slightly off, I think. Yep, there we go. That took a second longer than I wanted to, but it's now mounted. All 4 bolts are tight. Getting this up there is going to be a pain because it's very heavy. So I think the 2x4s I have resting up there, I'm just going to put a screw in just so they don't fall off, because that would be even worse if I'm trying to get up there and I lose one of those 2x4s and then I'm fighting to keep everything stabilized. So let me go get those up there and holding, and then we will try to carry this up the ladder and put it in place. Tried to figure out a way I could winch this up to myself, and I couldn't figure it out because this thing's quite heavy. I still don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. Got Sam at the bottom trying to stabilize the ladder. I just don't know how I'm going to get it from there to there. What's that? Where do you need to put it? It needs to go on top of this beam. Okay, just connected the winch to itself. Now, if it'll take its own weight, which would be good, I might be able to rework it. Oh, the weight's not on me anymore. Okay, so that was easier than I thought. I think it's backwards now. Yeah, this end has to be over here. Just fine. I can do all that. Haha. Just gotta get up on top of these 2x4s. It's not like it's heavy, but it's more awkward than heavy. To get this thing up and around, I've got to pull it up and around, and that's the scary part. Is there a ratchet strap? Ratchet straps somewhere down there. Over there. There are ratchet straps. Aha. That's fine. One will be better than none. I can try working one side at a time here. Yep. At least if I do this, I know it can't fall. Because I don't know what keeps the hoist part locked. Okay, that's something. I'm not sure what, but it's oh, now I think I'm stuck. Okay, just don't fall from there, please. I need to slide it over. I need to slide over quite a bit. But I can't. Okay. Strap on that side, and then we can undo it. Two more straps. Hopefully that's enough to get this to come up here. Let's get this around there. Like that. And if I wrap it around here, it may actually pull it in. That might be the ticket. So that goes around. And goes through this here. Okay, now will that pull me the direction I need to go without pulling it off on top of me? Technically, it shouldn't be able to come off at all now. I've got this on here, that over here. Now, if I slide this a little bit, come down a step, maybe a little more leverage on this thing. Okay, this is too tight here. That one's really holding it. A little bit of this off, a little bit of this on. Okay, leave it as a safety, so let's put a little bit of it into it. Okay, should be enough to keep it safe. Okay, and behind that 2x4 a little bit. Okay, a little behind that one. That's good, we're doing something. That one's loose-ish. This one's a little bit tight. When that one slips out though, that's gonna be the scary part. Because then I'm gonna have to set this thing quick, at least behind that 2x4. Oh boy, don't do that. Okay. Yeah, got a little bit tight there. We're loose here. Okay, we're tight again there. Okay. Oh my gosh, okay, taking a break. That is loose. That's basically off, so we know we're not holding it there. This is almost around this corner. I think once it slides, it's gonna, ha ha ha. Just like that, pop behind it. Okay. Now, you can lay it flat. Oh my gosh, that was the hard part, I think. Now I just gotta slide them up on top of the 2x4s, one at a time. So if I take this, I can't be underneath that. That doesn't help. There we go. So take this and set it up like that. And then this side, do the same thing. And come down one step, hopefully, and still be able to make that up into there. I don't know if I can or not. It's so scary. I can't go underneath there like that. That stinks. I don't have a ton of 2x4 over here holding it anymore. Okay, most of it's holding. Most of it's holding. Come up a little bit, one. Come up one, maybe. Yeah, that was a potential problem. And luckily, it didn't go super bad. Oh my. That could have been way worse. Okay, new plan. Do the same thing, but once I get that side up, I'm putting a 2x4 on top of it. That was not cool. It just, when the weight went up there, it pulled itself off the 2x4 over there. Let's do that again. We were so close. Okay, right there. Now, we're gonna screw a small scrap of 2x4 up there onto that side. I have now affixed a 2x4, or a piece of 2x6, on the back side of that one. So now it can't fall off of that side. Let's try this again. We were this close. Because I went higher, that's what I did, right? Yeah. Put my shoulder into it, makes it easier to lift. Nice and slow. Like that. That wasn't that difficult. Why was it so difficult before? Okay, just gotta slide it over a little bit to center it. That's close enough to centering for me. There we go. Okay, throw some screws in there. We're gonna call that good. We're gonna call it up there anyway. I pre-drilled 3 screws on each side. Hopefully these will go right in, and then I don't have to worry about it falling anymore. I can't see them, but that's okay. That's why I pre-drilled them. There's one. Oh, I can't put that one in yet because there is a strap that I have to get out. Let me pre-drill this one in first, but now there's a 2x4 in the way. I'm doing really well here, people. I get the top one. Once one is in, we'll be okay. Okay, that one's in at least. It's not coming back out. Ow, that hurt my shoulder. Okay, let me get this strap out of here. I am going to do one more thing while I'm up here because I want to make sure this doesn't break or have any structural problems. I'm going to come off of this beam and come diagonal with a piece of the metal with the holes in it and just support this up that way a little bit more than it is, just to make sure that it doesn't come down. I don't think it will, but I just want to double check that. So that's what I'm going to do next. Got the support braces at the very top now, so that added triangulation support at the very top to help keep the 2x4s pulled, so that's a good thing. This is really high, so I have to climb the ladder to actually make it work. Okay, let's see what happens here. Wish me luck on this one. Again, these are all going to have to be moved. This is going to have to go to I'm going to have to extend this cable over there. We'll put an outlet in up there, but let's see what happens. Okay. We have taken tension. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
That's no good. Oh, the door's locked. Unlock the door. Let's try that again.
Down.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Am I at full height? Nope, not yet. There it is.
Nice.
So that goes all the way up. I'm gonna have to put a different switch in there because I am hitting, like I'm getting it to the very top without hitting the lock, but that's fine. It goes all the way up as high as you need to get it. Now does it come back down? That goes up without, like that winch is not struggling at all. So yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that so that that doesn't hit up there anymore. When it gets to about here, you're gonna have to push down on it. Because it wants to do that. So at the very bottom, you're just gonna have to push down on it to lock it. Okay, you can leave it, you can leave it. But yeah, so. Like that. That is fantastic. That is proof of concept that that works beautifully. I just have to make some modifications to the actual cabling and to make sure that you don't pull it too hard and rip the winch through the top of the door. So we have to modify that switch so it doesn't hit it. Or put another switch in somewhere else that when this thing comes up to it, it shuts it off. Or we just pay really close attention, put a mark on there and don't go any higher than that. That's the other option. So with that, the door works. We actually have a functioning side door. It goes all the way up for the first time. That hoist worked fantastic without a problem, and way cheaper than a garage door opener. If you didn't have the garage door opener and you're trying to do this, it's so much cheaper. So thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope everybody had a great week.